Welcome to the list. List.
It's a list show.
The list.
So, later on in the show, we're going to have Justin Bieber singing his new VeggieTales classic. Well, his version of the VeggieTales classic. Oh, where's my hairbrush? After his hairbrush mysteriously disappears during a party. In case you're wondering, there's no hand was there. That's story more when you care.
But until then, here's something I know you will all love. Have you ever noticed that we're in a land that's free, but everything is censored? Some foreign films and other products have been banned. People are even trying to change the names of places and words in books because people are offended. You know what I think, America? Americans are too sensitive.
Well, I'm happy to say, though, that people are finally coming to their senses. People have finally realized that censoring Mark Twain's husband is not a good idea. If you actually read the book, then you would know that the N-words, where they're all about, cannot always be replaced by the word slave, as they're suggesting, because Pop talks about a free he saw in town. You can't have the book say there was a free slave in town. It just doesn't make sense. So instead, a new modern version of the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is being published.
This summer, Nighttime, its first of many, unrelated adventures, the infamous Huck Finn is being released in order to make kids more interested in historic literature by making it more relatable to them. Of course, you all know me, so there's no way else will the book for you. But I will tell you that in this story, Huck moves to Brussels Sprouts, Washington, where he meets a family of vampires. He falls in love madly with one of them, whose name is Edwina. Towards the end of the book, Huck adopts a dog named Jake. Edwina, who is secretly part cat, doesn't like dogs, so she moves to Italy, and she asks the vampire government, the Vault Fairies, to kill her. Because Edwina doesn't really have any special powers like this famous vampire we all know they do. Believes that he doesn't have to worry about her ever again, Huck moves away, lives happily ever after without Jake because Jake ran away to Fork.
Okay. If you think that's good, wait till you hear this. This fall, the sequel, Always Say Sometimes, is coming out. Huck changes his name to Houston Bieber and becomes an instant pop star by posting a video on the popular social networking video site YouQuickTake. He teams up with singer Gusher and becomes an actor starring as a criminal on several criminal investigation shows and makes a movie about his rise to fame called Always Say Sometimes.
The third book, Lord of the Wardrobe Potter, will be coming out this winter. In this book, Huck escapes to England, where he wanders into a magical closet and discovers a new world. He meets an 11-year-old wizard named Harry who must save the world with a magical ring. Huck travels with Harry as they go around the world with an old wizard, an elf, a dwarf, and a human king running away from his heritage. They run into soul-sucking shadows, walking through and a giant lion.
Next spring, Star will be published. Star is when Huck goes into space with Captain John C. Kirkham on the spaceship Enterprise Incorporated. It has many stellar adventures. He befriends alien ninjas with special abilities and glowing laser swords called the Deadeye, and their enemies, the Evil Jar.
Speaking of aliens, this reminds me of the last book, The New Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, World Domination. In this book, Huck is back in Missouri. He travels down the Mississippi all the way to Louisiana. Nothing happens, so Huck goes to Texas where he meets an illegal alien, Tommy. Tommy reminds Huck of Jim from his good old days, so he tries to help Tommy escape. In Huck Finn, Huck tries to help Jim run away and become free, so he leads Jim to the south further into slave territory, where he can be put back into slavery if caught. Learning from his mistakes, Huck leads Tommy north to Washington, D.C., where, if you don't know, the president lives, so he can easily be deported if Tommy catches him, if he is caught by the president, yeah. Huck and Tommy have many adventures that remind Huck more of when he helps Jim. They even run into a Duke and King. No way! The group gets lost and ends up in New York, so Huck and James leave the Duke and King at Broadway. When they finally get to D.C., James is arrested for jaywalking. Huck's new friend, his lawyer, comes up with an elaborate escape plan, which involves James leaving the jail and helping the boys collect supplies. At the end of the book, James finds his parents, who were U.S. citizens that had lost him in Mexico when he was a baby. So he was a U.S. citizen this whole time and was not an illegal alien. Like I said before, the last thing I would do is spoil a good book, so I won't tell you that the president is assassinated. I and the vice president, Houston Juber, becomes the first female president.
In case you're wondering, the movies have already started being made. The New Adventures of Huckleberry Finn reflects perfectly the values of American teens today. The undead, pop music stars with awesome hair and are mistaken for girls, fantasy, science fiction, and bad border control. If you don't believe me, Huck's favorite restaurant is Burger Bell. Everyone in this book is highly obese and works for McDonald Trump. Speaking of McDonald Trump, we just heard that Trump is releasing a new comic book series about a millionaire who's secretly a superhero, spying mouse man. Doesn't it make you proud that we are such an original country, America? We can come up with all our own ideas and make all our own products. Yes. So, who can come up with stuff like Dragon Ball Z Kai, Anime Omega, and the Constitution? It's not like we use ideas that the Romans and philosophers of the Great Enlightenment already had. Yes, we are such an original country. What are you doing?
Reading?
You're reading.
History.
But
we talked about this, right?
We're doing this. That's what we talked about. You're reading in the middle of me talking.
Well, we're promoting,
isn't that a communist book?
No!
It's not really?
No communism involved.
Yeah, I know what you're really thinking. You're not reading this book. You're thinking of something and you're hiding it with this.
Historical literature.
You are thinking that these books aren't a good idea and that they're just going to ruin history more than the century will. You know what I have to say to that?
What?
Shut up, you stupid commie! This is America and we don't care!
Ah! Oh!